Hello, fellow fans. I'm Mark. You know, with me is my co-host, the quantum to my mania. It's Bryan. What up, Bryan?
What did I do to insult you?
Welcome, everyone, to UWF on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. On the last several episodes, Bryan and I united to review Deadpool and Wolverine, the spoiler, non-spoiler episode. Plus, before that, we talked about Ryan Reynolds and his comic book movies, and we did an epic series on epic movie themes. On this episode, we unite to discuss San Diego Comic-Con and more. Now, cosplayers, true believers, and fellow fans unite as UWF starts now.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Football is life.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
This is the way.
Avengers! Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Hello, fellow fans. Thank you all for uniting with us as we talk about all things fandom. Bryan, hello there. Please give us a rate or review wherever you listen so we can unite with more fans out there on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Follow UWF on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, and Discord to have more fun with us. If you do join us on Discord, we do like to have fun with you. And who knows, you might get invited with some Discord benefits to join us as a tiebreaker or a judge on some episodes. Bryan, have you come crashing down from Deadpool and Wolverine, or are you still on a high from it?
I think that movie's a blast, man. It's a good thing that, we saw it when we did, because there are spoilers everywhere. I wasn't going to wait a week anyway, but if you got to this point unspoiled and you actually care, A, go see the film, but B, good on you. Yeah.
I still love the movie. I have had Madonna's Like a Prayer on repeat quite a bit.
For me, it's been Bye Bye Bye. That dance is incredible.
Yeah, we've gotten some behind scenes footage of that. I will admit, guys, don't get me wrong, I love that movie. After thinking about it a little bit, I will say it's not a great part 3 to the first 2 movies, but it's a great time nonetheless. I don't care. I loved it. So it's kind of breaking my heart a little bit how many people out there are just taking a dump on it. Such a movie that wants to make you laugh, entertain you, and bring you to the movies. Just have fun, guys.
I've seen very little of people trying to take a dump on it. That's interesting.
It's more so, I think, people trashing it. I think it's because everyone's a little hurt from the multiverse movies. I'm looking at you, Multiverse of Madness, and and Flash, just movies who didn't do it well, and people are just a little stung by it.
Well, that's a larger discussion for a larger time, but I said that on our episode too, is I think this film is impossible to compare to its 2 previous ones because it just plays by totally different rules. But with what it was trying to do, it did masterfully. I think it was well done. I really like it. And a lot of people came out and saw it. It was the 8th largest opening of all time, including the largest opening for a rated R film at $440 million. So Disney's had 2 massive hits back-to-back in back-to-back months. They needed it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Bryan, as a parent, talking about rated R movies, when are you going to let your kids watch rated R movies?
When they move out of my house, if it's up to my wife. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's when they move out of my house and they can make their own. I will say a lot of people saying about how Deadpool is the most rated R thing they've ever seen. That might be true, but I think you and I are both just so desensitized to how very extreme rated R this movie was, because we just came off of watching 8 weeks of The Boys. So I think anything, I came to that realization in the theater on Saturday going, maybe that's why I don't think it's so aggressive, because this is 8 minutes of what happens in The Boys. So maybe that's really all that it is.
I don't think it's aggressive because I've seen Quentin Tarantino movies and Martin Scorsese movies. That's why I don't think it's that bad.
If you and somebody points to somebody's head exploding, and it's if you watch The Boys, you see that a lot.
Yeah, different kinds of heads. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's gonna finish number one 2 weeks in a row. But I do encourage everyone to go see M. Night Shyamalan's film starring Josh Hartnett. Was it Stalker? No, Trap.
Very different.
Who?
Yeah, it's Trap.
Trap. Thank you. Either way, I like it. Brian,
I'm
do you
in
like M.
love
Night
with my
Shyamalan?
Stalker. I mean, M. Night Shyamalan for me is great trailer. Movie ultimately misses, right? Like, he's never ever going to be able to reach the levels of The Sixth Sense ever again. I just hope Trap is worth it, because the last time I got sucked into an M. Night Shyamalan film in the theaters, it was that one on the beach.
Oof.
That one is bad, and it was a fantastic trailer.
Well, check it out. It stars Josh Hartnett, who you recently saw in Oppenheimer, which was directed by Christopher Nolan, who just celebrated a birthday, and I want to hear Brian's Rushmore of Christopher Nolan.
The Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, Inception.
Yeah. Keep going. We
And
can be on the same page here.
do I go
We're
with
almost
it?
there.
Can I throw his brother in there, Jonathan Nolan, and throw in Fallout?
No.
What did I say?
Inception, Oppenheimer, Dark Knight.
You don't want me to say this. I might say it. It's a tie between Interstellar and The
Don't say
Prestige.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I'm happy for
Memento's good too. Ooh, I think Memento's on there actually. I'm gonna go Memento, The Dark Knight, Inception, and Oppenheimer.
you. Ring the bell, everyone. Brian and I have the same Christopher Nolan Rushmore. Yes. Oh, yeah, the bell. It's almost like Brian and I won a gold medal for being on the same page there. The Olympics are going on.
Don't fall off
Wow,
of
that
that segue.
I know the broadcasting school has really paid off. The Olympics are going on. I've watched a lot of rugby. For some reason, when I put it on, it's mainly rugby. I did watch
Rugby
USA.
sevens. Rugby sevens was fantastic, both men's and women's. Absolutely fantastic.
I've definitely gotten into rugby. I've watched one or two basketball games.
I've got one.
Oh,
Great concept. 3-on-3 basketball is an absolute disaster as an Olympic sport. America has a dude that shoots free throws granny style. If some dude from Poland was doing that, sure. This is America. We don't shoot free throws granny style. And they lost
Wait.
to Poland.
wait, how many different basketball events are there?
Just 5-on-5 and 3-on-3.
Is it for men and women?
Yeah. And USA lost in 3-on-3 basketball, men's and women's both. Pathetic.
Wow. I mean, I remember seeing news with women's basketball because of the whole Caitlin Clark thing, and I heard about 3-on-3, and I didn't know that was a thing. All right.
Yeah, it's literally like make it like you have to take it behind the 3-point line. Like it's playground it's playground style 3-on-3 basketball. It's weird, and I don't like it. And maybe it's just because America's losing. We don't lose in basketball.
I know. I would love for softball and baseball to come back.
Next 2028, baby.
Yeah. Skateboarding's fun. That's always a fun Olympic event. There are some Olympic events. I'm not going to say which ones. I'm very surprised there are events over other sports, but good on everybody.
Put your name on it. Which one are you talking about? I'm not gonna lie. Table tennis, friggin' incredible.
What? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna say that one's great. Honestly, for me, it's the one gymnastics, and I'm sorry, listeners. Help me see the greatness of it if you love it. It's the one gymnastic
Rhythmic
thing.
gymnastics.
It's the one with like they have a ball,
Yeah.
and they have to do a routine with it.
You know what everybody recognizes that from? Will Ferrell in Old School with the ribbon. Stay tuned. Back to School episode, United We Fan, next week.
Oh man, what a great point. Great point. That was, you could say, epic just like the new commercials and pictures we're seeing for Epic Universe over at Universal Orlando. New park opening next year. They came out with videos and pictures for the Wizarding World. It's going to be the France area from the second.
It's just the 1920s. Yeah. I think, well, the first Fantastic Beast was London, right? So.
And then, second Fantastic Beast, and then from, all of our time in the Ministry. But they did say they're going to have a full-scale size Ministry room plus ride. Epic Universe, it's just looking great. I think it's going to be a home run.
Yeah, but Mark, the Ministry's in London. How does that make any sense? They actually incorporated the flue powder fireplaces. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. Like, that's so cool. Digging out. Yes. So the attraction looks cool. The land looks cool. The fact that you have a little small tent that you're going to go into a circus and then you walk in and it's massive theater. All great theming. Just such a great idea.
I do feel like parks are kind of underselling the shows. That one looked like a small little theater. Disney with their Encanto show. Actually, Brian, I have a hot take.
Feeling hot.
It's pronounced Encanto. I need people to stop calling it Encanto. It hurts my soul.
Gringo. I've never heard anybody call it Encanto once in my life.
Walk through the Magic Kingdom part and you'll hear it at least once. Or the Animal Kingdom when they're walking through Dinosaur and they go, "Did you hear?" And they look around like it's a top secret thing.
All right. I'm turning it on you.
The game where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Your Mount Rushmore of anticipated announcements from Disney parks, specifically at D23 this upcoming week.
The expansion of Magic Kingdom.
Behind Big Thunder, okay? Or beyond Big Thunder.
We're just doing parks, right?
Yeah.
Expansions to Magic Kingdom. Changes to Magic Kingdom as far as attractions. I think there's going to be some replacements, I'm guessing.
What's getting replaced? Space Ranger Spin?
I'm going to go, man, I would love to just upset people and say Carousel Progress.
You know that's not true. They just got new seats.
I'm going to say Buzz Lightyear, Hall of Presidents, and...
They can't get rid of the Hall of Presidents, can they?
Yeah, you can. I would love it if they put the Muppets there. Bring back great moments in history. A salute to all nations, but mostly America. So yeah, I'm going to go with the expansion plus replacements of Magic Kingdom. I can't... See, I want to be excited for Indy, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to redo Dinosaur with that ride.
Yeah, and they should, because that's the best ride ever. Yeah, I think Dino Land's replacement finally gets announced.
I think the Dino Land Encanto and Indy area will be a great announcement. That park deserves some loving. And I think we're going to get some Epcot news. So I don't know if it's going to be the Mary Poppins thing.
I think Mary Poppins is more likely than another country.
No, it's not going to be a country. I would say it's either going to be Mary Poppins or Coco.
Or both. Yeah, give me Coco. Give me something to go in Stitch's Great Escape.
Oh, shoot. Forgot about that.
Yeah, give me Coco. Give me Mary Poppins. I'll count those as one. I think we're getting a fifth park announcement. I truly do.
Now,
the timing of that $17 billion announcement right on the back heels of the Epic Universe stuff, like, I think they're feeling the pressure, and I think they're going to cave to that pressure and make that announcement.
I do not believe it's going to be a Villains Park.
Mark Valentine thinks that is absolute. I think that's what's beyond Big Thunder. I don't think a fifth park as Villains survives. I don't think we compared it to Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU. Is maybe it reeks of desperation. Maybe it's ultimately the right call. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. And my last one is Dino Land. I mean, Dino Land is a guaranteed change.
Yeah, I would love. Personally, I would love entertainment, some shows, maybe a nice themed restaurant, maybe. So I would enjoy that to happen.
Give me a little more drone incorporation, because you did it at San Diego Comic-Con. You do it at Disney Springs. Those drone shows, they're getting them figured out, and they're incredible.
Well, Brian, you brought up drones and Comic-Con. After this word from our sponsors, friends, we're going to be talking about Comic-Con. So if you missed anything, fear not. We have everything lined up for you and ready to go, plus a special guest host to talk about it all. That's after a word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, Diz Life Mark here, and I want to tell you all about the official travel partner here at Chip & Company. Let our good friend Sarah at Destination to Travel help you plan your next Disney vacation. Sarah specializes in planning dream vacations for your family. She's an authorized Disney vacation planner, and she can help with every step of your magical vacation. The best thing is that her services are 100% free. Want to travel beyond Disney? Sarah has you covered there too. Want to find out more? Fill out a trip request form over at the website at Chip & Co. or email her directly at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. Start planning that dream vacation today. Email her at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com.
Welcome back, true believers, cosplayers, and fans. We hope you're excited to talk about Comic-Con. Fear not, we will talk about Robert Downey Jr. and if that was a doomed casting, but fear not. Okay, we are going to get to it. Was that joke doomed from the start?
You even went to the same verb? Come on, man.
I know. Okay, wait. Wait, how many times can you play off Doom? It just feels like a doomsday scenario.
Let's talk about what might be a doomsday scenario.
I know, you're right. All right. Anyways, listeners, we are talking about Comic-Con. We do need help to talk about it because there's a lot of news. It was a big event, the biggest event. And to help us do so, it's Kevin.
Kevin! Hey guys, good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Kevin, you did the heavy lifting for us. Thank you.
No problem.
You knew you were going to be able to pay a lot of attention to Comic-Con. We talked about having you on even before we knew what was happening. And then the MCU love that we all have came strong. But before that, let's talk real quick. They released a bunch of stuff today of recording for Skeleton Crew, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, dropping December 3rd on Disney+. Jude Law playing Jodna Nawood. Sure. Those kids look tiny.
Yeah.
Like real small. And it looks like a young Max Rebo. I'm of the opinion after the Acolyte that it feels like Star Wars is about to just greenlight anything they want. That even if it's good or not. I'm nervous as crap about this show. Mark, where do you go ahead, Kevin?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say I was the opposite because I mean this got filmed. I feel like this was filmed in like 2022 or something.
It's been done for a long time.
It's been done for a while, and I mean this is also coming out of the Filoni Favreau corner of the universe. It's set in the same time frame on the timeline of Mandalorian, Ahsoka, but John Watts and his Chris, I forget his last name, the one who he's writing it with John Watts, they're the ones who are kind of spearheading it, but Filoni and Favreau are, EP. So I'm excited for this.
John Watts of the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy phase.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited for this. I like we said, this has been done for a while. We don't really know why they've punted it down the release schedule as long and as far as they have, but I'm excited for this. The exclusive article that came out today with the pictures and everything, it made it just seem very light, very fun. I think they've said in the past it's kind of got a Goonies vibe to it. So I mean, I'm thinking it sounded like what Jude Law was saying in the article was just basically like he's with these kids and they're all like scared of things, and it's like I don't mean to say this negatively, but it sounds like a preschool, almost like a Dora Explorer or something, like here's a problem and we have to solve it, and get to but it sounds like there's going to be it's going to be lighthearted, I think, a fun time. So I'm more excited, Brian, I think, because it's Favreau and Filoni on it, and I think it's going to be a good time.
Mark, what say you?
I mean, it took the time to make sure it was right. A lot of time to make sure it's right. They know the Acolyte had a lot of problems, and I think they're going to play it a little safer here. But I'm down with it. As soon as you say Goonies and Star Wars, I'm there.
Rumors are, and whether this is still true or not, that Carrie Jones who played Black Chrysanthemum in the Book of Boba Fett, is replaying Gorian Shard, who was that green Davy Jones looking guy from The Mandalorian, that he's actually going to be the ultimate kind of bad in this one. So that may set your time frame being mid Mandalorian rather than, because spoiler alert, Mandalorian season 3, that dude doesn't make it out of that episode. So
I forgot about that. I forgot that.
And that may not be true anymore. Like, I don't even see Carrie Jones listed on the cast list for the Skeleton Crew anymore. So they may have changed. That may have been one of the changes while they waited. Stranger Things is the exception and not the rule when it comes to kid actors. I don't think Goonies has aged super well for my kids' generation. My kids think Goonies is beyond boring.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. Like, Goonies, Gremlin, like it just doesn't land with this generation. Again, I think Stranger Things is the exception, not the rule. I'm really worried about this. Not everybody can be Daphne Keane and Logan. So it makes me concerned. But let's move on. That was not actually part of Comic-Con. What was part of Comic-Con? Lots of stuff. First thing, they dropped a new trailer for Transformers 1. We're going to move through a lot of this stuff quickly because we all want to talk Robert Downey Jr. just like you want to talk about Robert Downey Jr. Transformers 1. Mark, where do you stand on this animated prequel to the Transformers universe?
I'm going to go see it. I'm not 100% sold on it, but I will be happily surprised, hopefully. And yeah.
Optimus Prime being a young and dumb teenager doesn't sit super well with me, but I'm actually super excited for the film. I think the animation looks great. Kevin, what say you?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Transformers person I've seen a few of the live action stuff. I fell off after probably 3 or maybe even 2 with all that. But this anime, it looks good. It looks in the vein of the TMNT movie that came out recently, off the tailwind of Spider-Verse and such, so animation looks good. I did watch this trailer. It was I was laughing at it. I thought it had some good jokes. It did add more of the story this time. Basically, it's showing how Optimus Prime and Megatron start as friends and how they diverge and become, their enemies and everything. So looks promising. I think it'll be good. I'll hopefully try and check it out.
Optimus Prime and Megatron are enemies? Yeah.
Brian, ask me again if I'm excited for the movie.
Oh boy. I'm gonna preemptively. Hey Mark, are you excited for Transformers 1?
I'm not optimistically primed for this movie.
I'm sorry, on the trailer. That was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, Hellboy. I know no other context other than there was a trailer. Kevin.
Yeah.
Same. I didn't realize they were doing another new Hellboy.
Who's Hellboy?
I don't know.
It's not Ron Perlman and it's not David Harbour?
No.
What a waste of time.
I felt bad. I love Hellboy.
Which one?
Well, let me rephrase. I love the first 2 Hellboys. There's an extended cut of the first one. Check it out. It's good. I thought this one was a fan-made trailer when I first saw it.
I think Hellboy 1 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
What?
I hate that movie.
So you like the Golden Army?
No. Maybe that's the one I hate. I hate both of them, but I really hate one of them. And I can't even differentiate. One's got
Rasputin, one's got the Golden Army.
I don't know.
I found it says it's Jack Kesey is Hellboy. I'm not sure.
What else is he been?
Let me see if I can find out.
Come on, IMDb.
While he looks that up, Mark, there's another Alien movie in
there is
3 weeks, and nobody even knows about it. Are you excited?
I am. Speaking of Comic-Con, they did a great thing where they had little face huggers running around, and then of course extras in the crowd being on the ground with face huggers on. I think the movie's going to be great. Ridley Scott is an executive producer on it, and he essentially told the director, "Don't F this up." But my thinking was, that's okay. Didn't you kind of F it up when you made the Prometheus movies? Yeah. But anyways,
take your advice there, Ridley Scott.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. It looks like it's going to be more in line with the first one, which is more horror related. The chest burst scene in the preview looks so good.
Yeah, that looks cool.
I think it's gonna. I'm sad to say this. I think the movie's gonna bomb.
I don't think anybody knows. I think the world as a whole learned about it when they went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine and saw a trailer for it. Kevin falls in that category.
That's how I learned about it.
I saw the trailer before A Quiet Place Day 1. That's when I learned about it. And we talk about movies every week.
I think it's going to be really good, but I think it's going to bomb. I think that should have come out in September, October during the scarier months. But then again, I think the brilliant Prey movie, the Predator movie that was on Hulu, if that would have gone to theaters, it would have bombed as well. And that was a great movie. So Alien and Predators are just having some bad luck.
Kevin, any news on our new Hellboy?
Yes, Jack Kesey is known for 12 Strong, Baywatch, Death Wish, and Claws.
So he's handsome.
Yeah, he is.
They should have let Glenn Powell play Hellboy. That's the only thing Glenn Powell's not doing right now.
Wow.
I still haven't seen Twisters.
What?
I'm sorry. I missed it.
You haven't experienced the finger of God.
I could only use my A-list out of state 3 times, and I used all 3 on Deadpool.
All right, that was worth it. I mean, Twisters is still in theaters. Check it out. It's definitely a theater experience movie.
Tales of the TMNT opening credits. Is this the sequel to Mutant Mayhem?
Yeah, this is the prequel series or the interlude series between the sequel that's coming out, and it's I watched the credits because I knew this was existing. I didn't know what it was about, and it looks like the movie, but in a like flat 2D, like almost like notepad doodle type thing. It looks similar to the movies, but like in a 2D style. Look pretty cool.
But it's a movie. It's a film.
No, it's a series.
It's a series. Okay.
A series on Paramount Plus, I believe.
Okay.
Or a Nickelodeon, or maybe both. Probably both. But yeah.
Yeah, probably both. Honestly, that's where Nickelodeon stuff lives. And I saved this one for last. Rings of Power Season 2. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I liked Rings of Power Season 1 a lot. I think it was really well done. But and I believe, Kevin, it was you in the Discord that said this is what you thought you were getting from a Lord of the Rings television series.
I think whatever article I shared for it to share with everybody, I think they said the headline that this was like what people wanted it. I personally haven't watched Rings of Power. I know that there's been people like you, Bryan, who liked it, people who weren't really jazzed about it. So I just thought that headline was encouraging for anybody who maybe was on the fence about it to
push through the first couple of episodes in Ring of Power. There's a lot of talking.
I think all you have to push through is the Brandyfoot stuff. Everything else is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, so what you're telling me is the ultimate, if they had been telling the story of Sauron and Gandalf and everything like that all along, then everybody would have been fine. But because we went through season 1 of the mystery of who was Gandalf and who was Sauron and everything else, like now people are mad? Like, is it that simple?
No.
I don't know. Rings of Power Season 2 looks great.
It does. It looks great. Amazon visually did a beautiful job with the first one. Costumes were great. The music from Bear McCreary was great. Even that intro, it was practically done. So I'm excited for season 2.
That show's good, man. They talk about it being a 5-season arc. I mean, Amazon has more money than anybody in the entire world, so I expect it to get done either way. Let's talk about television real quick. The What We Do in the Shadows panel was so funny, where they FaceTimed in. I can't remember who it was, but it was great. Did they show a trailer for the new season? Was there anything super special there? They just had a panel, right?
I knew they had the panel. I don't know what they showed.
Yeah.
But I knew they were the FaceTime stuff that was pretty funny. I saw that. I think you had shared that, Bryan.
The Boys prequel series. Was officially announced with Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles, as well as Stormfront. Soldier Boy's great. And I mean, you've had enough time now, if you care that much. Season 4 post-credit scene. Soldier Boy's going to play a role in season 5 as well, which is the final season of that show. So how do you continue this universe? Well, you do a prequel series with one of your best characters. I
just need him to have another song about, like, kind of as good as, was it 5-5 Freddy or whatever?
Yeah.
The Soldier Boy song. That was good.
That was good. Anybody care about the Star Trek announcements? or know anything about them.
I know the Michelle Yeoh movie, I think, got a lot of hype. I saw that and I think Discovery, the series Discovery, I think they talked a lot about that. It sounded like they had a lot of stuff at the show, which was
people that like Star Trek really like the stuff Paramount Plus is doing. That much I know.
Yeah. I wish I had Paramount Plus so I could watch it. I enjoy Star Trek. I was hoping for a movie announcement. I feel like that fourth installment keeps being flirted with, but it's never actually going to happen.
The J.J. Abrams verse?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Well, they had Matt Jackman on it, and then he ditched it to go do Fantastic Four. So
thank you, Matt Jackman.
Yeah,
I think that was a great pickup for Marvel.
How do you spin off Doctor Who?
Doctor what?
Who?
That's easy. You put him on first base.
Oh no. But seriously, how do you spin off Doctor Who? Like, how is this going to work?
Well, they've already done it. They had Torchwood.
Torchwood was a Doctor Who spinoff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know Doctor Who very well. I know David Tennant. I know Christopher Eccleston. And I know Matt Smith was Doctor Who, but he was too much for me. You know who's not too much for me? Is Matt Smith in House of the Dragon. He's so freaking good in that show.
Yeah. He's definitely not a doctor in that one.
No. Go ahead.
The spinoff is called The War Between the Land and the Sea. It has Russell Tovey, who you might know from the Arrowverse as the one in that animated series during one of the crossovers. He had one of the animated series, and then Gugu Mbatha Raw from Loki. Judge
Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer, yeah. It says it focuses on the military organization unit, and it's going to be Russell T Davies, who's back on Doctor Who. It's going to be a 5-part spin-off series. So,
interesting. I know people that like Doctor Who. The Whovians are very pleased with what Disney has done with it so far.
Cool.
Comic books. Marvel's creating a new TVA comic book to be more in line with what is in the MCU, and they're going to bring Miss Minutes to the page. Hey, y'all.
And I think I saw they're going to have new clock friends. I think that they said like King Clock and one other type of clock, like animal.
Hey man, as long as Miss Minutes remains single, I'm good.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw that, and I saw that announcement. I think Feige did a panel with C.B. Cebulski, the editor in chief, which was pretty cool. First time I think since he's become president of all Marvel.
It is the first time, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
he's kind of done a panel with on the comic side, and so I mean, obviously this makes sense. I mean, the comics at this point are basically a 3 to 4 year runway for the movies and Disney Plus series with story ideas and stuff anyway. So it's good to get people who enjoyed Loki back into the comics with the TVA, and because the TVA and the comics is kind of similar, but it diverges so much. Like Loki took it in its whole new direction. So I'm excited for it. I'm hopefully going to pick it up. It says it's just like I think Captain Carter from the comics is going to be in it. Gambit, Spider-Gwen, so some cool characters in it, and then Miss Minutes in it as well. So I'm excited to check that one out. I just wanted to throw it in there because of how close it's tied to Loki.
No, that's great. TVA, Miss Minutes in the comics after all this time. It's about time.
Yep. And I think I think I saw one of the writers on Loki is writing the comic, so that's pretty cool. So
as long as it's not Michael Waldron,
not that one. Catherine Blair is the name.
Kevin Feige doesn't do it a lot, but when he does talk comics, it's really fun. I wish he did it more.
I want him and Miss Marvel, Iman Vellani.
Yeah,
I want those two to just have a comic book show.
Yeah.
So I know Kevin did come out and say he wanted to do a Disney Plus show based on all the artwork or references.
I was going to say, I think I saw. I think he said he actually wanted like a feature on Disney Plus where like you could go like to a tab and then see all the art or the comic, like basically
as a special feature.
Yeah, or as a special feature.
I would love that. Kind of like, Marvel's version of pop-up video. Do any of our young listeners even get that reference?
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
Let's talk about the how did Deadpool put it? The guys down the road. DC Studios has a new logo. Aren't we so excited? I think it's great. I think it's a great logo, actually.
I think it's a great logo. If they change it up with each character, I think it'd be great.
Like changing the colors, you mean?
No, like for the Superman movie. All right, you got the Superman Action Comics intro there. Whatever the next movie is, if it's Batman, have little like Batman. Like,
I don't know if I agree with that, because I think part of what makes the MCU it's not what makes the MCU special, but what makes the MCU is the consistent Marvel Studios logo at the beginning. So I think if DC wants to create something that, hey, they give you at least a visual clue that this goes with this, then I think having a similar logo actually is what they need.
So just Superman?
No, just the DC Comics logo, the DC Studios logo.
Oh, you didn't see the one where it's animated?
No.
Oh, I didn't see an animated one.
I only saw just like the physical logo.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're talking about the DC Bullet logo. No. Yeah, they came out with one. It spins and Superman does his little like the Action Comic Superman.
Well, that might
does
be cool.
His thing on the logo.
That might be okay. Yeah. I'm more on board with that. You know what? That's the only freaking Superman thing we got. How do you not show stuff from your tentpole film coming in a year? That's crazy.
They just wrapped.
It's going to miss Comic-Con next year. They won't be like, it's going to come out before, like kind of in the Deadpool slot, I think, right? It's like
it's before Comic-Con. Like, I don't know how you missed that. I understand it just wrapped. You know what hasn't even started filming? Fantastic Four. You know what had a 2-minute trailer? Fantastic Four.
All you got to do is have him come out in the blues and just have Superman there.
I don't know how you missed that. Like your biggest film you're gonna have in a long time. I don't know how you don't have Superman there.
I wanted to hear.
It's because Superman's
here's
boring.
The thing.
That's why.
USDC, you got to do something, and you had it, and then you just let Marvel run away with it and kind of embarrass you more.
Turns out maybe they had an inside. I mean, Feige and James Gunn are friends. There was nothing anybody could do to outshine Marvel this weekend. So maybe that's all that it was.
I know. And they could have done it and everyone could have been disappointed and done nothing but talk about Robert Downey Jr. and everyone would have blasted DC then. But I would have loved to have seen clips from Superman, him walk out on stage. But since they didn't have Superman, I just was left super disappointed.
They did have another Superman. They had the Superman and Lois from the final season.
I love that show. Highly recommend it.
I thought that show was over.
It is ending. They bumped the final season. That's finished filming, but they bumped it to the fall broadcasting.
It's with Doomsday, right?
Yeah, Doomsday and the Death of Superman.
Yeah. I can't recommend that show enough. The CW I know gets some flack, but they did a great job with it.
Really good.
Yeah,
it has been really good. Yeah, also a high recommend from me.
Okay, I'm gonna just do it.
Feeling hot.
No.
I like James Gunn, and I know they just wrapped filming of Superman. I'm getting very, very sick of how his thank you testimony after every project about how it's the greatest thing he's ever worked on, and there's never been a greater cast that he's ever worked with. He says the same thing after every single film, and it's wearing on me.
Well, not true. The Suicide Squad, he said Margot Robbie was the best actor he's ever worked with. So he just said her. So he changed it up a little bit.
Even though she wasn't even the greatest one in that film. Even though she was, and she gets way more into character than Idris Elba had to. But like I said, like Guardians 3, he said it. Guardians 2, he said it. The Suicide Squad, he said it. He says it about every single film. And I get like, hey, dude, you're really appreciative for the life that you have, but at least mix it up a little bit. It's just the same thing after every single film. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I want Peacemaker Season 2 to finally come out. Creature Commandos, that is an animated show coming to Max. I saw stills. I guess I didn't process that there was a trailer, so I'll have to go check it out. Kevin, where are you on Creature Commandos?
It looked interesting. It looked kind of... the animation looked okay. It wasn't stellar to me. Didn't like blow me away or anything. I had heard, I think they were at a festival.
It felt rushed.
Yeah, there was they were at a festival earlier, and they had said that like the animators were like, because it's supposed to be at Belle Reve or whatever, and they were like, oh, we want to make it this cool like gothic creepy location or whatever kind of in the comics, but then James Gunn was like, no, it has to like line up with the live action, because it's basically the designs here have to kind of mimic and be easily translatable to the live action, so I think it might have a little blandness to it, or like it'll feel like it's live act or just a springboard for the live action. But the voice acting didn't sound super great. I mean, Viola Davis is Amanda Waller again. I think it opened with Brock Rumlow from the MCU. That actor, he's Rick Flag Sr. He was working in it, and like the voice acting seemed okay, but I mean, I'll probably check it out. It's only going to be 7 episodes.
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. Yeah. So I don't know. It looks okay. I'll probably check it out. It's technically the first installment of the new DC universe. It's supposedly set the stage for Superman and everything. So, but I wasn't blown away. It wasn't like, oh, this is great or anything, but I might check it out.
Mark, do you think the casual fan is ready for the weirdness that is going to be the DCU? Because James Gunn's a weird dude.
No. Yeah. No. I think it's not going to be an instant hit. I think it's going to attract people who will discover it, and it'll grow on them. And then those people will get invested.
I mean, I can predict week 1 now. The diehards are going to love it. And then some people are just going to be, he put Guardians of the Galaxy into Superman. There's too many jokes. There's too many this, that, and the other. So I really don't know what to expect. I think he'll tamper his vision a little bit, but
I don't think Superman's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, if we were talking about the new Kevin Hart movie, Borderlands, yes, that is a clear Eli Roth ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy.
That looks bad.
But yeah, I think Superman, I think he knows he doesn't want to have it compared at all to Guardians, even though it will be. I think he's going to do everything he can to make sure to avoid that.
Colin Farrell is back as the Penguin, coming to Max, I believe, in September.
Yep.
I think he's one of the best parts of the Batman. He doesn't look like Colin Farrell. Maybe that's part of it. I genuinely believed for a very long time this show to have been canceled. So the fact that it was still coming out was a surprise to me. I knew before Comic-Con, but like I'm going to watch it. I have zero expectations for it. Mark, where do you stand on the Penguin?
I'm excited. I think it's going to be what the show Gotham should have been. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
Is it a prequel to the Batman?
It's set a week after the spoiler for the ends, the flood of Batman. So it's set a week after, and then it's going to pretty much tee up the Batman Part 2. So it's pretty connected, which is pretty good. But Brian, you might have been thinking there was supposed to be a GCPD and an Arkham Asylum series that got canceled. But apparently, I think some of that treatment did get spun into what they're doing with I think the GCPD,
might be what gave the Penguin new life too. Like 3 shows became 1.
Yeah, that's what there was an article I think recently that basically the HBO execs were like, they were developing these and like focus more on the characters, not like a location or like the general whatever, So that's what I think they did, put all their money behind the Penguin and the creativeness. But yeah, I saw the new recent trailer. I think it looks good. I think it's going to be another great HBO series that everybody's going to start talking. Like it's going to rope in people like Last of Us did or whatever, that probably aren't familiar with it, and they're just going to be like, oh, this is like the new hot Sunday night event show that you got to tune into HBO for. So
it's going to take place. It's going to take place. Yeah, I know they're putting it on HBO, which they were not originally going to do. It takes place in the Batman epic crime saga timeline. It takes place completely outside the DCU, but that's just letting Matt Reeves do what Matt Reeves wants to do. Mark,
nothing wrong with that.
Very last thing on DC, they're still teasing a potential Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
Hold up. You also forgot about the Bruce Timm animated, J.J. Abrams animated Cape Crusader show. That intro just came out.
I didn't forget it. Beautiful. Kevin forgot it. Blame Kevin. It's not on the outline.
Kevin, don't let him talk to you like that. You did a lot of good homework, okay?
He did. Kevin's producing this week.
the Cape Crusader looks great. Check it out for all you DC fans out there. I go and watch opening night, the Joel Schumacher cut? Hell to the yeah.
I feel like if it ever comes out, it's Max. It's straight to Max. Like, I don't think it's going to go to theaters.
It will. I mean, give me those credits with a kiss from a rose. Oh, yeah.
There used to be a gray tower alone on the sea.
And you too. I'm there. I'm excited.
Me too?
Really, Brian? You wouldn't watch it?
Me too, or you too?
Oh, I just hope it. Please do not release it in segments.
No, I would watch it, but I wouldn't want it to be 4 hours.
No. I don't think it's that
mean, it's
long.
probably 3 hours.
I think it's
right?
2.5.
Like 2.5, I think. Yeah, and I was just reading. I think whoever was talking about it said that before one of the more recent administration changes, they were pretty set on trying to get it possibly getting done at Warner Brothers, and then somebody new, I think maybe it was before Gunn came in at the end of there, and it sounded like he said they need about like maybe $1 million just to finish it up with like some music and
kickstart it.
Chump change.
So not anything like Zack Snyder's commitment.
I know Kevin Smith has been. He said he saw it. Yeah, and God, man, Kevin Smith can get a ball rolling.
I got stuck in a TikTok wormhole of watching Kevin Smith protest Dogma when it first came out. It's such a great story.
He's got a new movie coming out September that
the 430 movie or whatever.
Yeah,
that looks.
I am excited for it. I'm there.
It looks funny. There was something.
Well,
else I
Brian,
wanted to say,
before
DC.
we move on and talk about other wonderful things, what about hearing from our wonderful sponsors?
Is Disney World home to you? Realtor Victor Naraki can help make it a reality. Realtor Victor Naraki specializes in making your Disney home dreams come true. Second homes, investment homes, retirement, relocation. With Victor's input, he will show you the home opportunities that you don't get to see as a tourist. Imagine being at the park in minutes, walking around the World Showcase for daily exercise, watching the fireworks in your own backyard, or having Disney Springs as your local mall. Have you ever heard of Windermere, Winter Garden, Horizon West, Dr. Phillips, Claremont, Lake Nona, or Disney's own Celebration and Golden Oak? Victor will introduce you to these communities, which are just minutes to the magic. Stop imagining a Disney life and start living your dream today. Call Victor at 407-340-9375. And don't forget to mention that you heard all about Victor here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Head over to celebratingflorida.com and start living your magical life today.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, friends, you've been waiting long enough. It's that time. We're going to talk about the Fantastic Flying Car. Right, Brian?
In a minute.
What?
The Fantastic Car.
We're flying.
We're flying. Okay, first, let's go in sequential order here. There was a choir singing Madonna's Like a Prayer, which I thought was actually pretty fantastic. They talked pretty heavily on... Seemed like all they were going to talk about was 2025, but there was more. But they talked about Captain America: Brave New World. We got apparently there was a video clip of Harrison Ford becoming the Red Hulk in front of the White House, confirming that Ross is still the Red Hulk. We also know that they are going to address Tiamat, who is the celestial sticking out of the Indian Ocean from Eternals. That is how they're going to introduce adamantium into the MCU. Adamantium is basically a way of the rest of the world accessing vibranium without having access to vibranium. That's the best way to think about adamantium. Mm-hmm. Kevin, is that incorrect?
No, yeah, that like adamantium and vibranium are a very similar.
And you've seen adamantium very, very recently. It was the skeleton of Wolverine. It was
his katanas,
Deadpool's katanas, and it's what Wolverine's claws are made out of. So that's adamantium. And then Giancarlo Esposito, there was a lot of rumors that he was playing George Washington Bridge, who was a agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. No, he is Seth Volker, a.k.a. Sidewinder, who's the leader of the Serpent Society. Mark, where do you stand on Captain America: Brave New World?
I have I'm still at level 11 on it. I'm glad they're bringing in the serpents. If you remember correctly, they made that joke. I think it was
what Civil War was supposed to be. They announced
Yeah.
it as Serpent Society and then went back and changed it. So.
Yeah.
I think you have a great cast. So for all those snobby filmmakers who go comic movies are not real movies, it's got some award heavy favors in the movie. Visuals look good. Yeah, I mean, although I'm hearing some rumors about all these other heroes that are going to pop in there. I don't want it to be a superhero team up movie. I don't need it to be a Civil War.
Well, Anthony
movie.
Mackie straight up ruined one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I heard. I really want the focus needs to be on his Captain America.
I don't think it's going to be more than the one he ruined, plus his version of Falcon, plus the Red Hulk. Like I don't think it's going to be much more than that. And Isaiah Bradley, obviously, he's a force to be reckoned with.
I still think Isaiah Bradley was such an underrated part of that show.
Oh yeah, he's great. That show struggles at multiple levels. Isaiah Bradley, not one of them. Kevin, Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. It sounded the clips and stuff that sounded like they showed was like, oh, I wish we saw more of the Red Hulk in the trailer because I want to see what he looks like from the front and more of his powers and everything. But Giancarlo Esposito's role, I was a little shocked at because I thought I'd been hearing rumors that I know maybe Seth Rollins, who was supposed to be a Serpent Society member, he's been possibly cut from the movie. He was in the movie, possibly cut. So I thought that just meant the entire Serpent Society aspect of the movie was cut. So that's why I was like a little shocked. So that's leading me to believe was this role originally Seth Rollins, and then they brought in Giancarlo Esposito, or like if the Serpent Society was in it, why did Giancarlo come in right at the last minute? With the reshoots that happened. And,
because I bet you he's perfect for the role.
Yeah,
you just imagine him as Doom though. Anyways,
no, I don't want him as Dune. I want Adam Driver as Dune.
No,
Excuse me.
People would have made too many comparisons to him and Kylo Ren.
Yeah, fine by me. Let's go to Thunderbolts asterisk. The asterisk drives me insane. The fact that we're going to release a film with an asterisk on the end of it, and everybody's like, well, maybe it's because like at the end of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was called Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Okay, fine. Then rename the movie at the end. I'm fine with that. But to say the movie has a pending title when it comes out drives me insane.
I shout out to Kevin Feige's kid who said that teaser poster looked like the Walmart logo. The bullets or whatever around in a circle.
This is news to me. I've never heard Kevin Feige's kid speak.
Well, he told the story about it.
Oh, I missed all that.
No.
They confirmed that Ghost is in the film. Darn. Like I have zero passion to see Ghost again. Sounds like, and I mean they said as much in the panel. This is a Yelena Belova film.
Good.
And that's totally fine by me.
They were all praising her on the panel, saying like she was the favorite person to work with on set and be around. So that's good.
Oh, similar to James Gunn though, like you kind of got to.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed by. I hope that's not the final Red Guardian costume.
Oh, that's it.
It looks like he's. Wearing like a catcher's chest protector.
Yeah, I wasn't sold too much on the new costume.
It looked like a cosplayer.
I was surprised.
He
Sarah
got it on Etsy from a lady up in Canada who specialized in that and Green Goblin only.
Sarah Halley Finn put out photos on her Instagram of the Thunderbolts, and David Harbour is flipping off the camera. So, yeah. I mean, I think they're trying to lean into the irreverent nature of the MCU of what they think Deadpool has reopened it up to. Does that mean Thunderbolts is going to be rated R? Absolutely not. I'm like, everybody's like, oh yay, Ghost is in the film. Like, I couldn't care less. Like, I just could not care less. I think that character is very, very uninteresting.
I mean, they're not going to be a leader of the team. They're just going to be a supporting character.
I'm sad Star-Lord's not part of the team. I think Star-Lord would fit right in. I mean, Bucky, like Sebastian Stan said, Bucky's nearing his end. Does he end in this film? I hope not. But I mean, Bucky's coming to an end, which bums me out.
How is he not in Brave New World?
I know. I think actually Brave New World's going to suffer from lack of Bucky. I hope he pops up, but I doubt he does.
It sounds like Brave New World kind of leads right into Thunderbolts, so maybe.
Well, it almost. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Thunderbolts was a pending title until we saw Brave New World, then I'm fine. But if Thunderbolts is literally going to come out with like an asterisk on the poster, like, I'm so out. Let's talk about the next one before we talk about the big one. Fantastic Four. Why have I seen the trailer a million times when I wasn't supposed to see the trailer, and yet I still haven't seen any video of Harrison Ford turning into the Red Hulk? I want to see it. But it's now called The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Filming starting this week, started on Tuesday, the week that week that this is being released. I don't know when you're listening to it. If you're listening to this in 2027, hello. It's not going to retell the origin. They're going to start with powers, which is interesting, which I don't totally buy from the trailer because they're going to space and that's kind of where they get their powers. So I don't know if I totally buy that.
I think based on what I've understood of the trailer, it was just to like get the aesthetic.
It's almost like it's not even in the film.
It might not be in the film. Like, okay. I mean, I think there were some set photos like on the first day of filming that like showed like a similar launch pad, kind of like what that was in this teaser. So there might be some like maybe we might get a couple flashbacks to it, but it sounds like we're not going to like the whole first act is not going to be them without powers, and then end of that act and middle of act 2 is when they go up and get them, you know, like the first.
Which is honestly kind of a shame because I want to see it told correctly from day one. But like the cast is spectacular. Like the cast is great. Everything I keep seeing from what is his name? Eddie from Stranger Things. Johnny
Joseph
Storm.
Quinn.
Joseph Quinn. Everything I keep seeing from him, he was really good in A Quiet Place Day 1. I think he's going to be really good in Gladiator 2. Like I'm in on this guy. Vanessa Kirby fits right in as Sue Storm. Like it just looks fun. Galactus looks cool. It takes place in a retro futuristic 1960s New York setting. The beginning of the trailer talks about how there's multiple Earths on different planes. Like this clearly does not take place in the 616 universe. The events of Fantastic Four are going to lead us to Doctor Doom and Secret Wars. But we don't know anything other than that. It looks like the Jetsons. Mark, the Fantastic Car was there.
It was flying around. I was happy that everybody was amazed and excited by it. I mean, if you didn't like that one, you can always go watch Deadpool and Wolverine and see the Fantastic Car in that one, if that one's more for you. But yeah, I think that was a great gimmick. I wish I could have watched it live as a Fantastic fanatic.
Kevin, where do you stand on Fantastic Four? I think what I said on This Life podcast coming out this coming Monday, if Fantastic Four doesn't hit, then I will entertain the conversation of the MCU being dead. But I think Fantastic Four is going to be a monster.
Yeah, I think they're doing something really cool. I think it's really smart and unique to have it set in at least in the retro 60 vibe, you know, like, and then in order to really honestly do that, it has to be on another Earth, you know. So, and I'm sure that they've thought about, okay, how's it going to lead into Avengers and get them into the proper 616 universe? But I think, yeah, the vibe just looks so cool. It looks so unique. They did announce also at the panel that Michael Giacchino is scoring the film, which, you know, that's really great. He always comes up with great stuff. So I think he'll lean into some great sounds of that era and like maybe even incorporate the animated theme like he did with Spider-Man and everything, you know. So I think that's really, really great. Yeah, I'm excited by all of it, and the potential and the rumors of the other characters and the other actors who we don't know. Like there's other actors in this, they haven't confirmed who they're playing. Like it sounds like really ambitious, and I think they're putting a lot of effort and a lot of care to make sure that they make it good but in a unique and different way than it's been done in the previous 3 films.
Did you see the Galactus drone show?
I saw clips of it. Yeah,
so cool.
And apparently some of that music was Giacchino's music, so I want to go back and listen to it because I think that was.
I think if you want to have an idea of what his score is going to sound like, just listen to his Incredibles.
Yeah,
oh, Brian,
maybe.
Special effects on the show now.
I've got balloons.
Yeah.
I mean, directed by Matt Shakman. Most famous in the MCU, only famous in the MCU for WandaVision. 2/3 of this trailer was in 4:3 ratio because it's in the 60s, like a 60s style game show. And then as they're launching into space, it went to your 16:9 or whatever the widescreen 235:1 or
285.
Whatever. But like the 4:3 ratio is great. Like it's gonna have a little WandaVision incorporation, or at least that feel to it for a bit. Like some of the film's gonna be in 4:3 ratio. I think it's cool. I think it looks great. He looks great as Reed. She looks great as Sue. Eben Moss-Bacharach looks great as Ben Grimm. Like we only saw the silhouette of the thing, but.
Yeah, he did say to prepare for this role, he looked at a bunch of rocks. So I'm glad he's doing his homework for it.
Yeah, he's doing that, and he's just yelling the F word at the top of his lungs if you watch The Bear. And then, again, I already said where I'm at with Joseph Quinn. I can't wait for Fantastic Four. It comes out a year from the date of this panel at Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. So we're going to do with what we did with Deadpool and Wolverine Thursday night, San Diego Comic-Con Saturday. I cannot imagine that Marvel Studios is going to be back at Hall H next year. I just don't think there's going to be anything for them to go. Because, I mean, D23 is not happening next year, though, so maybe. Okay, let's talk about the big stuff. The Russos are officially confirmed. Robert Downey Jr. is back in the MCU as Dr. Doom. Let me get out the notes, and then we'll have a conversation. Stephen McFeely is returning to write. I assume, is it Christopher Marcus?
Yeah, but it's just Stephen McFeely.
For now, I hope. This does mean Michael Waldron's out, which I'm stoked about. The Russos are expected to earn $40 million each for each film. That's $160 million in directors for 2 films. That's
the 40 together. It's like both of them are going to get like 40. So it's 80 for the
80 for both of them. Okay.
Yeah, for both films. Yeah.
And Downey Jr. is getting 50 per film or total?
Per film.
So Robert Downey Jr. is returning for $100 million. Okay. He only would come back if the Russos came back, but Marvel's been talking to Robert Downey Jr. longer than they've been talking to the Russos, which is interesting. They're going to start filming in Q2 of 2025 for a Q2 2026 release of Avengers Doomsday. The Fantastic Four cast and many others will be part of it. Mark, I'm going to come to you first, but I'm going to tell you what Kevin said when the announcement was made, that this feels desperate from Marvel.
For me, it just, Robert Downey Jr. is just coming off like he just really loves the spotlight, and we're giving him more of it. When I saw that he's getting the private jet, the money and all that, that kind of turned me off a little bit. He's a nice guy. I love his environmental work that he's done. And I love him as Tony and other roles, but I was disappointed. I don't like as Doom. Doom is arguably one of the top 5 comic book villains of all time. And if he's not the primary Doom, like there's got to be another one. I'm going to be even more disappointed and pissed off. I trust Kevin. I trust Marvel. I trust the Russos. But the news did not have me jumping up and down. So I think he's going to be great at whatever it is. But I think they also know we've got to make this work. This can't be another Kang situation, which apparently that storyline's not dropped. They are going to close it somehow.
I think Loki season 2 did enough a job to close it if they had to.
Yeah. But I'm not team I hate it. I do see the desperation in it. I don't think Marvel, the Russos is a great hire for directors to handle those films. You know it's going to be done. It's going to be done right. But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Are we already at that point that we need to do a DC where we we need Michael Keaton back in a movie as Batman? I don't know.
This will be done better than that. Kevin, it sounds like I'm the most positive on this, even though I'm relatively skeptical as well. Where do you stand 5 days post this announcement?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Mark. Like, my biggest thing was he's clearly not the main Doom. If you want to say it's going to be the one from the Fantastic Four universe or a 616 universe, it's clearly a variant out in the multiverse that's if you're bringing back Downey, it's because he has to have some sort of Tony Stark
This is what I'm seeing. Like, people are saying online, like, is he a Tony Stark variant or is he just going to be his own thing? And if he's not a Tony Stark variant, that's even weirder.
Right, and then so
But
that's where I'm kind of at. Of like, if he's not he could be a Tony Stark variant that's like named Victor or whatever. But like, that leads me. Okay, so then it's like, as Mark was saying, if he's just doing these 2 movies, then does that still leave a normal Latverian Doom like on the table? You know, like, and will we get that? Because Doom doesn't wants to be, I think, the new Loki of the movies. He wants to be somebody that you're seeding in and out and is a big bad. Not necessarily that he's redeemed, but he's just popping up like throughout a whole phase of projects. Like, he wants to stick around. And Downey, it very sounds like he's just doing these 2 movies and like that's it. Another thing that I saw and heard, which I think does make sense, of if they were at all thinking of bringing Robert Downey Jr. back in Secret Wars as Tony Stark, like now they have a cover of him. It's like, well, he's on set because he's Doom, you know, so like they can like hide that a little easier, because I think that would have had more payoff of him just coming, you know, in the like doing that against Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, a Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, all 3 of them, you know. So I don't know, like basically Mark said much of what I said, or what I feel. Like, I think he's going to do a great job. It's going to be fun. Like, I'm going to be excited to see it. I have too many questions and it just felt like, we realized that things were going south really quickly with the Kang stuff, with the box office returns. Like, this will be a sure money win. And I don't know. It's just like, I'm not enthused about like jumping up and down. I was like, the news came out and it was like, I was like, huh? Okay. And then I was like, well, I wasn't like screaming, like going like, oh my God, this is amazing when that news came out.
Marvel is self-aware enough, and I understand it's Deadpool. It plays by different rules. But there's a line in Deadpool of welcome to the MCU. You're joining at a bit of a low point. Deadpool also calls out, hey, we're done with variants. Like, we're done. But you called this thing the Multiverse Saga. You have to culminate it in one way or another. And you've been dealt a crappy hand by a crappy human being who is a fantastic actor. You had to cut bait. If you're going to wrap up the Multiverse Saga, and let's be honest, the post-Endgame life for the Russos has also not been kind. I think the expectation was, hey, you put the Russo name on it, people are just going to love it. And that has not been the case. Like, what was that one they did with Tom Holland on Apple TV? Cherry. Completely bombed. And I think that the expectation was there. So you bring the Russos back. I think it is trying to recreate the formula. Is it original? Maybe not. Is it the right thing to do? It probably is. When it comes to a financial and wrapping up a storyline standpoint, you have Avengers Doomsday, which is going to be like Avengers Infinity War, where it's Doom is the main character, like Thanos was the main character of Infinity War. You're going to flesh out his character throughout that film. It's going to end with the heroes getting their butts absolutely handed to them. Secret Wars, I think we get Tobey Maguire back. I think we get Deadpool. I think we get everything. I hope we get that scene of Deadpool and Thor. But it's all going to be there. And I think Marvel fully aware, hey, nobody wants the multiverse thing, but you can't just stop. You just can't. So you wrap it up in the biggest way you possibly can with your 2 biggest directors, with your biggest actor playing a variant of your hero. It at least causes problems for at the very minimum. Tom Holland Spider-Man's going to look at Tony Stark and be like, what the heck? Like, this is weird. It feels desperate, and yet I don't hate the decision the more I think about it, because I think you can end Avengers Secret Wars. Everything is going to then come together. Everything is going to be on the sacred timeline, and you go back and you're out of the multiverse and you go back to a singular universe storytelling. I think that that's how it plays out, and I don't hate the idea. And I ultimately have so much trust because of the actions Marvel has taken in the last couple of years of really cutting back and obviously having inventory, and they're not going to just leave it on the cutting room floor. They're going to put it out, but they're going to put it out in a more smart manner. We only get one film in 2024, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine, and that is very self-contained. 2025 is going to set up a lot for those two films. There's nothing on the calendar right now between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Do I think one film will come out in between? I do. I think it'll be Spider-Man 4. But it's this. I feel exactly like Robert Downey Jr. like I do with if the Disney parks announce a fifth park and it is Villains Land. While I don't love the idea, it may ultimately be the right thing to do, and only time will tell. I trust the Russos. I trust Kevin Feige. I trust Robert Downey Jr. I believe they have a proper story in mind, and I think they'll pull it off. And that's just maybe the Marvel shill in me. But do I want Fantastic Four before that? I absolutely do. I can't wait for it.
I think one thing you said, Brian, that made me think is because of how similar, like you're saying, these two films seem to be to Infinity War and Endgame. I'm just hoping that these stories that it different, like
that they're not retelling with different characters.
Not retelling the same exact story, like because it's like when Doomsday comes out, would we be able to like just slap Infinity War over it and it would tell like a
so you don't want a Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, New Hope situation?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want us to feel that safe. I want us to feel safe in the fact that we have Downey in the film and the Russos are going to be able to manage all the actors and the story that they're doing. I want the story to be. I don't want to feel like I'm watching Infinity War when I'm watching Doomsday.
I'll give Robert Downey Jr. the credit where I am not expecting Tony Stark in a mask. I'm not expecting him to be quippy or in your face. No. I believe Robert Downey Jr. to have enough range and enough know-how of what he's doing and the directors to know what they're doing to make him feel like a completely different character and more of a threat rather than what Tony Stark would be. So I have no concerns with him in the role. It's just I have so many memories of him as that we're cheapening it a little bit. Any last thoughts? And then we will finish up San Diego Comic-Con recap. A few things Marvel didn't talk about. They didn't give us anything from D23 at all, from Marvel Television at all, Disney Plus, but D23 is this upcoming weekend. We also didn't get a new phase roadmap. We only know about 5 movies. Shang-Chi 2, we know nothing. Doctor Strange 3, we know nothing. Black Panther 3, we know nothing. Do I want any of those films? Shang-Chi 2 is the only one I want. So
yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking when you were saying about in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, it's like that one movie. Like I after you said Spider-Man 4, I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be it. But it's like Shang-Chi, he's just been sitting off there on the side, and I'm like, I want to like some of these characters.
Soon.
And I think he would fit in with all those people better than anyone.
Yeah, he'll fit in with them, but it's like I want to see another continuing story of him before we just show him up with teaming up,
But do you think? But is it possible that he doesn't team up with them? Like, is it possible they leave him off the roster? That's where I think I am, and we pick it up with Phase 7 and Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
Nope, not.
You can't let that much time go by. You got to do something with it. I feel like if they wait until after it, then you have a Henry Cavill situation where you had a really good first movie and you just didn't really know what to do with him afterwards. And Shang-Chi is such a great movie. I was also a little sad we didn't get anything for Midnight Suns announcement.
Let's talk about that. Noticeably absent on the heels of 2 days previously stating there will only ever be one Blade. There was talks that Jordan Peele had met with Marvel Studios and then 2 days later puts out on Instagram the date for his next film. Coincidence? I thought for sure Jordan Peele was being announced as the director of Blade. Nope. Whatever he's doing is with Universal Pictures, and Blade's off the calendar, and it should just cancel it. Just put it out of its misery.
Honestly, make it a Marvel special presentation.
I think that's what Midnight Suns is going to be. I think there's a lot of rumors that Michael Giacchino has already begun directing a Midnight Suns project, because Werewolf by Night was only announced 6 weeks before it premiered. Like, Midnight Suns could be doing that. Kevin Feige said there is only currently on the calendar one special presentation, and that's for 2026, and that's probably Nova.
No, that one. No, I think it's. There was rumors a while ago about a Mephisto one because he's supposed to be popping up in some of the upcoming Disney
Mephisto again.
Is he played by Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, because he's supposed to be in Ironheart, and I think there's some Agatha ties, because I think that when Agatha was filming, that was what the scoopers were kind of saying, that he was on set and they were kind of using the Witches Road sets and stuff. And that's what
I cannot wait for Mephisto to come out and just say not.
Yeah, that's like the rumblings. But Nova, I think Feige said not until 2027, 2028 for Nova, so that's too far away. But yeah, I think a Midnight Suns project is the way to go with Blade. I think it should be more than a special presentation. I think it deserves at least 6-episode miniseries, or just do a film. Just make the film Blade. Because I think we either talked about this in the Discord, or maybe you guys mentioned it, but I was just wondering at this point, when Mahershala Ali signed his contract way back in 2019, I wonder if it has a clause that it the role needs to be a feature film role or something.
That's exactly what happened with Black Widow.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering if there's a clause or however it's worded that he can't appear in the role without a movie or so something around that. So that's why, I feel like making a Midnight Sun movie instead of just a Blade. I think that even if it is just a Blade, I think he's going to need to pull in Moon Knight or some other supporting character, I think, just to help it get over the story. I don't think
Black Knight, Dane Whitman, we already know they know each other.
That too, yeah. I mean, he just needs, I think, one or two other people with him. That I just don't think a solo Blade movie is going to cut it anymore after all this time that's gone by since they announced it.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Werewolf by Night. Just give me Werewolf by Night too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. All right. D23 this upcoming weekend. The only things we have dates on: Agatha in September and Daredevil in March. And Daredevil's 18 episodes or something.
It's 9 at the moment. I think.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I think they're reframing season 1 is 18 episodes. I think it's, and then season 2 I think season 1 is 9, and then season 2 is it's going to be like a 1A 1B I think type of thing.
And then Ironheart
later
at some point.
2025.
Yep.
Yeah. But we have. I do know. I think there is definitely an Marvel animation panel, specifically
separate from the Marvel Studios panel.
I think so. Yeah. So I know that they're supposed to be talking about Eyes of Wakanda, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Both of those, in theory, were supposed to come this year. I think we're probably only going to get one. I think the Spider-Man series, we'll probably get that in the fall. What If season 3 is supposed to be talked about? There's rumors that might come again around Christmas, maybe in January. And then they'll tease X-Men 97 season 2, which that's still far out, but I know they're working on it, so they might have some rough animatics or something to show for that. But that's what, and then maybe a surprise, another animation in that panel. But then, then like you said, Brian, there should still be the big studios panel where they go through the various Disney Plus tile brands.
If you want me to care about What If, drop it between Christmas and New Year's again. That was perfect. That was a great release strategy. Mark, any last thoughts?
Excited for Fantastic Four, hoping to get more. Marvel's in great hands, and Comic-Con sounds like it was a hit as far as announcements. I'm not for DC, but anyways, Comic-Con was a great time. Hopefully one year UWF can get invited there.
Kevin, thank you so much for lending us your expertise and everything that you provided for this episode of United We Fan. Appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. Happy to talk about it with you guys. It's always fun to talk about these announcements and speculate what could be and what wasn't said and all that fun stuff.
Well, that concludes this episode. Once again, Kevin, we appreciate you for being a super guest host on this one. Brian, as always, thank you for being my mightiest of co-hosts. You know what? It's really Brian's show. I'm the guest host. We thank you, fellow fans, for uniting with us. For those listeners who want to get in touch with the show, please do so. Brian, tell our listeners how to do it.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at United We Fan Podcast. And you can reach out to us there. Shoot us a message. We'll get you the link over the Discord. You're fully welcome to the Discord. You just need to have the link to be able to do it. So come on, talk anything you want with us, including the Olympics or anything else that may be happening.
Yeah, and don't forget about the Discord benefits where you get to be invited to be on the show. Thank you again, and listen to us wherever you check out your podcast. Till we unite again, fans.
Flame on.
Keep on believing. Flame on. There we go.
New mask, same task.